Well, class, welcome back. Mr. Offer, History 1301. We're on the 8-week course. This was section 3 of History 01. This is kind of a wrap up. I'd like to kind of point out a couple of things. We started this session, we talked about a lot of different things. But there's an overall concept that I hope you do get out of this. We started this, we talked about the Pilgrims. We talked about how the Pilgrims really weren't everything that maybe Mrs. Johnson's little fourth graders think. Yes, they did form a union with the American Indian, but that was kind of a union signed in a blood pact, so to speak. Wasn't all cheery and happy, I guess you would say. The second thing, we talked about the indigent servant program, how that program opened the door to the slavery issues that we have. Guys, the one thing I hope that you, when you study history, and one of the reasons I wanted to sit here in my swing, is you notice my swing has has a chain on it. Well, each one of these is connected to the other one. Each loop is connected to the other chain, and that's how it is designed. In history, guys, just like in any of a chain, I'm using this as an analogy, is one historical event is connected to another one. A good example is the indentured servant program was one link that was connected, and that made possible slavery. And you will see that through the course of history. Are those links that are all connected. Another thing I really want to point out to you, we talked about in this class, I've tried to introduce to y'all the concept that the North is already at the beginning. The North is going to become more industrialized. The South is going to become more agricultural. Now, one of the big concepts in American history, guys, are the big misconceptions, is that there were not slaves in the North. There were. The people in the North owned slaves. Benjamin Franklin, which was one of the biggest anti-slavery founding fathers we had, actually owned slaves. So did George Washington, so did Thomas Jefferson. The people in the North owned slaves, just like they did in the South. Slavery is not only a Southern institution. That's very important. It's an institution that encompassed the entire, all 13 colonies. And so I always like to point that out. We talked about the fact that slavery in itself is a very bad institution, guys. We see in this course, what I'm trying to paint for you right now is we travel through our course. This course will end at the American Civil War. Now, at the end of when we start the American Civil War series, you quickly figure out that the North is able to overcome the South because it has war factories, it has more people, all these things the North has. But that starts here. It starts with the development of the 13 colonies. The development of one being, the North being an industrial machine, the South being an agricultural society. And so that's very important. We talked about the Salem witch trials. Again, let's go back to our chains and our links. Remember, we have the Salem witch trials. That is a link, and because of that link, you'll have the Great Awakening. Remember, you have all these crazy people that are seeing the devil and everyone else, and they're bringing women and trying them for witches, and because of that, they're going to bring in the Great Awakening. I guess the Europeans thought these people need a little bit of religion. So we've covered a lot during this section. A lot of what I went over with, I hope you paid attention when I talked about the different colonies, what they, as far as their byproducts, and as far as the religions, what kind of people lived in there. That's all important, guys, because you're going to see those on your test questions. So this will wrap up Section 3 of History 1301. This was a 5-part series. It was a long series with 5 complete parts. But hopefully that you've kind of got the concept of where we're going now. And at this point, the interesting thing, guys, we're still a ways away from the American Revolution. We're still going to have to fight another major war. And that's very interesting because before we fight the American Revolution, we're going to fight another war. And it's going to be a very important war. And it's not going to be fought. We're not even a country yet. We're still a colony. But it will be in this war we're going to fight that will basically cause that American Revolution. Remember the chains. It's a link that will lead to the next link. Okay? That link will lead to the American Revolution. But more important than that, in this war we're going to fight, we're going to find out how to defeat the British Army. Think about that. We're going to fight a war for the American Revolution. In that war, some of the same men that will fight in the American Revolution, they're going to fight in this war. The techniques that they're going to learn will help us defeat the British. Pretty cool. So just remember, guys, even as we go through today, things in history, things in our lives that are happening right now, it's a link. That link will be connected to another link. That's how history goes. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. We come back, we're going to talk about that other war.